Cominciamo con un bellissimo studio, davvero un bellissimo studio che abbiamo commissionato ad EyeForTravel. Chiamo sul palco Simon Carkeek di EyeForTravel. Thank you, Simon. Simon ha visto per noi i dati del mercato dell'online italiano. Quindi la sua è una ricerca molto approfondita e nuova, perché EyeForTravel l'ha appena pubblicata, di come si muove il mercato dell'online nel nostro paese. Simon, it's all for you.
Okay, thank you very much, Giancarlo. Although I'm not sure after that whether to thank you or not. On a positive note, I think that will have woken you all up after a delicious lunch. On a more negative note, it's a pretty tough act to follow, I think. But I'll do my best. Thank you, Giancarlo, and the whole team at BTO for inviting me to come and address you all today. It's a real privilege to be here. It's a beautiful venue. It's a wonderful conference from what I've seen so far. And it's always a pleasure to be in Italy, and particularly in Florence. So I'm delighted to be here, and I hope that over the next sort of 30 or 40 minutes, I'll be able to share with you some relevant and interesting information pertaining to the Italian online travel market and also to Italian mobile travel and how I think that might bring about some significant changes in the online travel marketplace in Italy over the coming months and years. So I've got quite a lot of data to get through, so I'm going to crack on with it now. If there are any questions as I go along, I think it's okay to put your hands up. I haven't checked that with Giancarlo, but I guess it is. If not, then save any questions that you have till the end, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. So, first of all, just to put things in perspective, I'm going to give you a quick overview of the European online travel market. This is fresh data. We published this report about 2 weeks ago, so it's pretty timely. And this is the European online travel market in 2008 going forward to 2012. As you can see, the travel market in general is pretty static. It did grow between 2002 and 2008, but like most businesses, from 2008 until now, it's been static, if not declining. And we predict that until 2012, it will recover to sort of 2007 figures, but not really grow that significantly. As you can see, though, where the growth is in online travel. This is the same for pretty much every region and every country throughout Europe. Some are obviously more faster growing than others, but the trend ever since 2002 has been online travel growing and offline travel falling. I'll look at this in more detail relating to the Italian market and also the UK market in a few slides' time. But just to give you a perspective, that's the trend, and I don't think it's going to change. Okay, just so you've got an idea of the breakdown of online travel in different sectors, airline is by far and away the most significant sector in European online travel, and that's pretty much the same across all markets. Obviously, the figures change depending on the market, but airline sales are always the most predominant sector, generally followed by the hotel sector. Okay, this puts Italy in perspective a little bit. The UK is by some margin the biggest market. It's grown rapidly ever since the inception of online travel back in 1999-2000. UK travelers have always been ready, I guess, to book online. They adopted it very early. They've continued to adopt new online travel techniques at a very rapid rate. And now, as you can see, the UK actually makes up nearly 30% of the whole European online travel market. So it's a huge market, but it's approaching maturity. By that I mean that it's becoming pretty saturated. There's a huge amount of competition for the online traveller pound in the UK. And whilst that makes it an exciting place to do business, for new entrants it also makes it very, very difficult. Italy, in our research, I just want to clarify something here, because as you can see, there's a section here that says southern. In parts of the report, we do lump together some of the southern European countries. However, for the first time this year, and that's partly why I'm here discussing the Italian online travel market, we did break out Italy as a separate region in itself. So the data I'll be sharing with you later is Italy specific. But just with relation to this graph, the southern region in total makes up about 14% of the total online travel market in Europe. And Italy accounts for about 5.5%. So not huge. Growing, but not huge. So I think that puts it into perspective. The UK, 30%. Italy, about 5.5%. Okay. So that 5.5% in 2008 was worth about 3.2 billion euros, which is 14% of the total Italian travel market. Again, you'll see how that compares to the UK market shortly. And as I've said before, about 5.5% of the total European online travel market. The good news is growth is pretty good. Because it's starting at a low base, and because Italians do seem to be getting more comfortable about booking their travel online, from 2008 to 2012, we expect growth of about 14%, which is faster than the European average. So there are opportunities in the Italian marketplace, and I'll go on to discuss them in a bit more detail shortly. But as you can see, the growth rate is higher over the next 4 years than the European average. And a particularly interesting fact that came out of this research was those Italians that do buy their travel online, and it is still a fairly small percentage, spend a lot of money. In fact, they spend more than any other European traveller per transaction. And this is really quite interesting, because it got me thinking about what kind of traveller is using the internet to book their travel in Italy. Because in other markets, and more mature markets, the people that are going online to book their travel now are the people who are looking for a bargain, are the kind of, the masses, particularly in the UK, are the people that are going online. And that's why the market is so big. So it's become common knowledge. It might not be true, but the perception is that if you want cheap travel, if you want the best deal, then you're better off doing it yourself, and you're better off going online. However, in Italy, that doesn't seem to be the perception. It seems to be that perhaps the most web-savvy people, perhaps the most, that could be the people with the highest incomes, the people who use the internet on a daily basis. They're the ones that are actually going online, and they're buying high-value products. They're buying potentially packages, complex travel products, rather than just cheap flights or budget hotels. So that's a really interesting fact. And if that continues as the number of online travelers grows, then there is a potential for a lot of, for a very lucrative market moving forward. Okay, and yeah, that compares to a European average of 1,265 euros. So it's over 500 euros higher. So that's pretty significant, I think.